Why is it? Why is the volume low? Turn on the volume.
Yeah, no, it's very loud. Hi everyone. We're gonna start in a few minutes, right? Can you hear me? Hi Bridget, you just joined. Who else is online? Say hello. Hi Lynn. Who else is here? Say hello. Show the love. So I want to make this interactive, yeah, and very casual. So it's like a conversation, although I can't hear you guys, so you guys have to type in the messages in the comment box. Hey Zura, hi Jason. Okay, it's 12. Hi Angeline. Hi Trisha. Hi everyone. It's great to be live, and this is Ask Atta. It's our first live session. We want to interact with our stakeholders, key stakeholders, especially with entrepreneurs and investors, and we want to be able to answer any questions that you may want to know about equity crowdfunding, any burning questions, right? So ask anything, yeah. So and don't think these are stupid questions, because there's a lot of people out there who don't know, yeah, about equity crowdfunding. And for those who don't know who Atta Plus is, hi Rizal, welcome. Atta Plus is one of the registered market operators or platforms that's approved by the Securities Commission of Malaysia to offer equity crowdfunding to the public. Yeah, so basically we facilitate fundraising campaigns by Sendirian Berhad businesses or companies who are registered as a limited liability partnerships (LLP). Yeah. So and before I forget, Selamat Hari Raya, Selamat PKP. Yeah, I hope you guys are still keeping safe as much as you can until the 9th. Yeah. Although I see a lot of cars on the road. Yeah, we are working from home on a virtual basis. Yeah, and hang on, let me check. Hi, Minkit. Hi, Ellen. Okay, so maybe I just start a little bit about the history of Adaplus. So we were registered with the Securities Commission in June 2015. So we are one of the first few companies that the SC approved to facilitate this new types of fundraising for Sdn Bhd businesses. Okay, so what it entails is that now companies who have gone through the process with us is now able to openly solicit investments from the public. Yeah, so what does that mean? Meaning that previously only companies who are going for IPO, yeah, through Bursa Malaysia, can openly source funds from the public. And with ECF now, companies who have gone through our process and our screening process can now openly. So, for example, when I say openly, it's as simple as you can even start printing flyers and say like, oh, come and invest in our business. Go and give out flyers at supermarket or something. But of course, we do it differently. We do integrated marketing strategy, and we work together closely with the businesses who's fundraising through PR, through digital social media marketing, and also through pitching sessions, yeah, directly to interested investors. And now, because of the COVID-19 situation, we do virtual pitching sessions, which has been fantastic, and we get a lot more eyeballs and a lot more participants, yeah, in the sessions. Anyone has any questions for me? Anybody? Don't just say hello. Yeah. Okay. If you have any questions, just type in the comment boxes. Yeah. So and what kind of companies? Okay. Or maybe I should start with, does anybody know what ECF is or what crowdfunding is? So basically, crowdfunding is a method of fundraising and sourcing the funds from the crowd. So who are the crowd? So crowd can be anybody. Yeah. So crowd can be individuals, can be retail investors, can be sophisticated investors, can be corporations, can be individual companies, small, medium, big companies. Hi, AG. How each to raise money via ECF? So AG is asking how each company. So, and what exactly is ECF? So yeah, I was just about to explain. So so there's actually four types of fundraising through crowdfunding. So specific to equity crowdfunding, what is it? Is actually how the company, a Sdn Bhd business, can source funds from the public, right? By exchange of shares of the company. Yeah. Hi, Anna. So, so that's essentially what it is, right? So you offer your shares of your company, yeah, in exchange for funds from the public, and is typically issuance of new shares. Okay. So currently, I think actually how easy it is. Well, I won't say it's easy. Okay, fundraising. So we have had in the past companies who come to us and they think that it's as simple as, okay, I post my fundraising campaign on the platform, and suddenly miraculously the money appears from the sky and people just start investing. Actually, there's quite a bit of hard work, yeah, you have to put in when you do the fundraising, and a lot of strategy that you've got to think about, and it's right down to how attractive your investment offer is, number one, how you structure your offer, yeah, and whether you are targeting retail or sophisticated investors, yeah. Because sometimes or many times that we see companies, it's not just about sourcing the funds, it's also about marketing and promoting the business, because that's one of the biggest upside when you embark on a equity crowdfunding journey, yeah. And that's number one. Number two is also the issuers themselves, the companies themselves have to work very hard to source for investments because, at the end of the day, people always ask us, oh, who are your investors? Actually, the investors is anybody you want because investors are not limited to Malaysians. It can be international investors as well. Yeah. And at the moment, the way we see it so far, there hasn't been, we haven't seen a specific trend in terms of the types of businesses that investors go for. And I think this is a result of your questions, whether there's any specific sectors. Not at the moment that we see, yeah. And there's a question by Ken in terms of new companies that have no revenues. So at the end of the day, right, we look at traction. And what does traction mean, right? Traction doesn't mean you need to have revenues already. So take, for example, Facebook, right? So for Facebook, in the early years, their strategy, what was the strategy? Their strategy was they wanted, number one, to make sure that the platform is widely used by the communities or by people or by the public or by their members who are registered with their platform. And the strategy is to get people to stick, right? And because by having the volumes of people registered on a platform and using their platform regularly, and that's how they monetize then. So their monetization model was to firstly strategize to get the volume of people, to use their platform, and then they monetize it because they have data, right? So, and in the first few years, they have zero revenues. So it doesn't mean that a business with zero revenues cannot fundraise on the platform. Sometimes it's also companies who's got a very unique patent, for example, or even people, companies who've got contracts, long-term contracts, and they need to fundraise in order to set up the specific infrastructure of the business. So it is possible for businesses, definitely. Yeah, I mean, you can see generally companies who fundraise on or via ECF tend to be startups, and most startups rarely have immediate revenues in place. Yeah. Let me see. Jeremy, the current situation, how viable it is. Okay, so I have a question from Jeremy. Jeremy is asking in terms of viability. Okay, put it this way. What we've observed is that in terms of investment appetite, we see that especially sophisticated investors or high net worth individuals, there is still strong interest in terms of investing. Retail investors, we feel that it could be affected because they are hanging on to their wallets a bit tighter, but people are still investing. So and there's also the incentive with Malaysian the Micro Investment Fund. If you're aware that the government is co-investing with the public, with the crowd, through the MySIF funds, and this is $100 million fund, a ringgit fund that the government has put in place. It's a matching fund. For every 4 ringgit, the government will automatically match with 1 ringgit. Yeah. So if the company has raised 400,000, automatically 100,000 is matched up to 500,000 per business. But there's a special incentive now because of COVID-19. The government is now giving a more attractive matching, 2 ringgit to 1. So if you've raised 200,000, automatically the government will match 100,000 ringgit, and it's up to now 1 million ringgit per company. And this incentive or this special incentive is only available up to 30th of September this year. Okay, so do take advantage of that. Yeah. So I think Adam has a question. Adam has a question on the current climate and what kind of businesses. I think if you look at the current business, what would be attractive is businesses that is thriving, during the sector. I mean, and you would think that delivery businesses, even online businesses, products that's leveraging on an online platform. But having said that, it doesn't mean that traditional businesses like F&B, for example, can't fundraise because they're just have to pivot in terms of their business model. Yeah. Anyway, I just want to welcome the new guys who've just joined us. Yeah, everyone. Haniza, Adam. Hi, Shireen. Shariza. Adiba. Hi, Adiba. Adiba is from Taipei. She's joined us. Okay, thank you for joining in. Okay, and I have some questions from Shireen. Yes, Shireen gave me these questions like early this morning. She's got 4 questions. Okay, why should startups choose crowdfunding? Okay, I mean the thing is, would anybody choose crowdfunding or equity crowdfunding? It all boils down to your business strategy. So we always say this, right? Do not opt for crowdfunding or equity crowdfunding just because you have exhausted all your funding options. Yeah. So when in the early days, when this alternative funding channel was introduced or was made legitimate by SC, we had quite a number of companies who came to us as a last minute resort. It's a last resort basically. Yeah, so they've tried everything else. They say, okay, we can't get money from anywhere else. Let's go to the crowd. So it shouldn't be that way. It should really be part of your business strategy. So you must have a clear objective because, like I mentioned earlier, going for a crowdfunding campaign is not. Don't think it's easy. There's a lot of hard work and there's a lot of strategy that needs to be put in place. When you opt for crowdfunding, yeah. And Shireen has also a question in terms of launching the crowdfunding campaign during a pandemic session. Now, I mean, honestly speaking, of course there is a concern, but having said that, it's all about strategy and how you want to angle the business, your storytelling, and at the end of the day, also the exit story. We've got now in the pipeline of companies, who have really attractive businesses and very, very attractive offering to the investors because of their exit strategy. Okay. I think there's another question that Shireen was asking whether perception of crowdfunding is not for serious investors and more for retail, which is actually not true at all. Okay. Now, obviously, with because of crowdfunding, the retail investors is now able to access companies that they could never access before. Especially the the attractive startups. So, for example, previously, right before ECF was made available, there's no way the retail investors could invest in a company like Grab or Uber or Facebook with the potential of companies like that. Imagine if you and I had the opportunity to invest in Uber 10 years ago, say $10,000. Okay, today your $10,000 would be $110 million. Yes, Adam, this session is being recorded, so you can listen to it again later if you don't have time. And in terms of educating of investors, we continuously educate investors. Very good question, Shireen. And there's still a lot of people who are unaware of ECF, but this is a continuous exercise that we do together with Securities Commission of Malaysia and also with all our other fellow equity crowdfunding platforms, and also with our partners, typically the government agencies, with MDEC, with Cradle, Magic, Martrade, MIDA, even Mosti, who else are our partners? Yeah, MTDC, and all our other agencies that work with us, and also private companies, even MyNev, who are consciously supporting us, on this. Yeah, keep the questions coming in. Hi, Shanki. Hi, Zuraida. How do we go about getting crowdfunding? Okay, Zuraida. For if you are you are interested to know more, you can go to our website www.ata-plus.com. And if you need to get in touch with us, you can either reach out to us on Facebook, send us a private message, PM us, okay? Yeah. Okay, keep the questions coming. Anything else? Hang on. Pros and cons between ECF and P2P. All right. It's a very clear distinction. So equity crowdfunding is an exchange for, it's investments actually, it's equity investments. P2P is debt. It's actually very similar to loans. It's just that we're using investment notes as the fundraising instrument. Okay, so it's more short term. So typically P2P, you can get a short term, can be weeks, whereby you can service your repayments up to, I think, 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. How far along are we? Hello, Zai. Hi, Jovi. Hi, Aina. Welcome. Yes, we can. You can absolutely. You can actually. We can look at any businesses. It's actually industry agnostic, specific to Ataplus. We look at only halal businesses. Yeah. So we don't do pornography related business or alcohol related kind of industries. Having said that, or even weapons of mass destruction. Okay, so which I don't think is it's very common anyway. Yeah, but for sure. Hello, Mr. Stanley Siva. Welcome. Hi, Selva. Hi. Keep the questions coming. Any more questions for me? Okay. So now I just also want to mention the kind of companies that I mentioned about the Sdn Bhd and LLP. So and what else? Okay, so companies cannot have paid up capital of more than 10 million ringgit, and now you can fundraise up to 10 million ringgit. Okay, that has just recently been liberalized. It used to be 5 million ringgit. And also 3 million per annum. But now there's no more annual limit. So you can even fundraise one shot 10 million if you want to. Okay, that's one. And secondly, in terms of documentation, so there's two parts of the documentation. There is the statutory requirement. There's also another requirement whereby we look at your business plans and your projections. So in terms of statutory requirements, you must be registered with SSM. Yeah, you must have your latest audited accounts in order. Yeah, audited report and your management accounts in order. And if you're less than a year-old company and if you want to raise more than 500,000 ringgit, you need to get a special audit done on your management accounts. Very important. Okay. And of course, your submission of your super form. So that's more on the statutory side. The other bit that's very, very important is you must have at least a 3-year business plan. And correspondingly, you must have a 3-year financial projections, P&L, balance sheet, and cash flow. Typically, we want to see that in an Excel spreadsheet with the formulas clearly in place. Yeah, so that we can actually make sure that whatever you mentioned in your business plan corresponds with the numbers and your assumptions in your projections. Okay. Does the company need a No. Actually, we've had companies who only had 6 months track record, so and less than a year old, who's fundraised with us. Yeah. So it is. You need not be. You don't need not to have a multi-year track record. So what is good right now is that not only startups are looking at fundraising, even more matured SMEs, because SC has increased the fundraising limit to 10 million now. Yeah. So can companies outside Malaysia raise funds? Yes, companies outside Malaysia can raise funds. However, they need to, the fundraising company needs to be registered with SSM. So basically the business has to be, the company has to be registered in Malaysia. Businesses can be anywhere around the world. Yeah. And the company in Malaysia cannot just be like a shell company. That means a go through fund. Yeah. It needs to do something. Yeah. So the company, either maybe the company needs to be developing the technology or doing the marketing or owning the IP. So it cannot just be an SPV whereby the money just goes through and then gets channeled out of the country. It needs to add value. Yeah, there needs to be a value add of this local company. Yeah. Yes, Ganesh. Yes, startup companies can definitely fundraise through the platform so long as you have a clear business plan and clear financial projections and a strategy of how you want to grow the business. Yeah. Let me see what else. Oh yeah, Shah, you have a question. Well, I wouldn't say most successful. I mean, to us, all the issuers on our platform who's fundraise, they're all successful companies, yeah, because they're successfully fundraised, and it's whether they fundraise faster or later. It all boils down to the strategy. For example, we have had an issuer who's fundraised in less than 7 days, yeah, and it's because that they have a very, very strong community. And they did a Facebook live session with their community, and overnight they raised over a million ringgit. So it really depends on how fast and how slow and how committed. The most important thing is how committed the issuers are with the fundraising, because we've had companies whereby they show very little commitment. They expect the platform to do all the work. So that's not how equity crowdfunding works. Yeah. So the issuer themselves have got to allocate resources and commitment, yeah, to the fundraising campaign, and on top of that, work with us on a clear strategy. Yeah. At the moment, just to give some data, so through equity crowdfunding right now, the industry, we've supported 86 companies already, and there's about 86 million that has been raised to date. The kind of investors, 57% are made out of retail investors as at March 2020. So those are the latest figures. And you can actually get those figures from the Securities Commission statistics as well. Yeah. Okay. So Brian has a question in terms of what's the top 3 most important things for an investor when they look into making a decision whether to invest in a company or not. So actually, there's no hard and fast rule, okay? Because different investors have different appetite. Yeah. So when I look at the business, I may like the company. Another person may not like that company. So it's like a beauty pageant, or it's like a matchmaking service. So for example, if you're looking for a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a husband or a wife, your taste in men and women are not the same. It's different. Some people like cute and chubby individuals. Some people want them skinny thin and so on. So it's similarly with businesses. But however, in terms of I think in general what they want as an investor, what typically an investor look for is what is in it for me. Okay, so when I invest in a business, I want to look at a company that has a clear roadmap in terms of growth, in terms of the market opportunity, and whether I can actually make a good capital gain when I invest in the business. That's number 1. Number 2 is also the offering size. If I'm a retail investor, if I only have say 5,000 ringgit allocated for ECF, and the most important thing is diversify your investments, right? But with 5,000 ringgit, obviously I cannot invest in a company that's a minimum investment entry point is 10,000. That already eliminates my option. So then, but if I have a company that's offering, say, oh, okay, 200 ringgit or 500 ringgit, that's when retail will play, right? I think the story is important, and also the clear roadmap of exit is important, and also whether you can give some interim upside. That's also interesting. If you, it depends on how you structure your terms of investment. Yeah. Okay. Is it possible for a company with more than 10 years but looking for funding for a new product and maybe register a new company? Yes, Wilson, you can. You can, and which is actually good. Sometimes because of the track record of the 10-year-old business, it can actually add value. That's going to be part of your story. It's just that you're setting up a new company to make a clean investment for the investors. Yeah. So other funders, Stanley has another question. Are the funders that you see from Malaysia predominantly or from other regions? Okay, this is not just Malaysia, I would say specific to Malaysia. If you look at equity crowdfunding in general across the world, when a lot of the investors tend to be from the country of origination of the platform. Yeah, so and with Malaysia, typically the statistics shows 95% of the investor pool are Malaysians, okay? And the rest are from regional or international, okay? Did I miss out anybody? Hang on, I'm just going back. Okay. So how do we cash out? Adam has a question. Okay, so this is what we call the investment offering, and also this is where the exit strategy comes in. So it really depends on the individual company. So cashing out can be in various ways. Number one is if the company is being acquired through trade sale or through a M&A exercise. That's one. Number two is if the company is going for the next round of fundraising. So typically the new investors, especially when you go for Series B or C, they would tend to also offer to buy out existing shares. So that's one way. That's another way to get your capital gains. Yeah. The other thing is through IPO, yeah, and you have to wait a bit longer, but it really depends on the company as well. But however, if companies opt to do the offering or structure your terms of offering using preference share structure, then you may be able to get some dividends, yeah, or an upside through your to the coupon rate, yeah. Until you know the maturity of the period. Yeah. Aina, will you also be advising on business plans? Okay, so just to let you know, as a equity crowdfunding platform, we are prohibited actually from doing advisory work because we are just supposedly just a matchmaking platform. And what we do is to make sure that the companies that apply for to us actually complies with the compliance requirement of the SC. All right. So we do not or we cannot actually give advice on your business plan. We can give inputs though, right? When you come to us, especially specific to valuation, because your business is your business. You need to. The business is being run by the issuers. It's not our business, right? So the most what we would do is actually just to provide our inputs on valuation, because typically that is where we see there's always a gap between the investors and the business owners, especially for startup businesses. They tend to value the business a bit too on the high side, yeah? So we need to, many times we need to counsel the businesses in terms of valuation. I hope that answers your question, Aina. Okay. We've got another 15 minutes. Keep the questions coming. Yeah. I'm just going back to see whether I've missed out anything. Okay. So let me just continue on with the investors now. All right. So what kind of investors? So there's basically three categories of investors that SC has defined. So there's retail investors, angel investors, and sophisticated investors. Okay. So let me start off with retail. So basically, retail investors are typically the average Joe man on the street, yeah, and these investors can only invest up to 5,000 ringgit maximum per issuer, okay, per campaign maximum, and 50,000 ringgit in a year, yeah, and angel investors are individual investors who are registered with the Malaysia Business Angel Network. Okay, and if there are angel investors, there's some incentives that's available. Yeah, there's tax incentives available for these issuers. For the angel investors, and sophisticated investors are all those investors who are defined has a net worth of combined net worth of 3 million ringgit per annum. Yeah. Okay. Jeremy, what's your question? Oh, sorry, Brian. Jeremy, how does Ataplas differentiate? What are yours? Well, I suppose for us is, okay, number one, I think we mentioned to you that we are industry agnostic. That's number one. We look at halal businesses. And thirdly, we are not an online VC, okay? Just be very clear, okay? We see that a lot of ECF platforms in general, right? Where I'm not just talking about local registered platforms in Malaysia. A lot of them tend to be, akin to an online VC. The other thing is we give opportunity to all companies. Yeah. So if you look at, and why do I say that? If you look at our companies, there are companies who are successful. There are companies who are not successful. Yeah, because it really is really up to the crowd. Yeah. And the world's your oyster in terms of your access to investors. There's no niche areas, but we do pay a lot of emphasis on marketing. Okay, so we have a integrated marketing strategy whenever we look at marketing and promoting the campaigns, the fundraising campaigns, from PR to digital social media marketing, and also offline and online marketing in terms of pitching. Yeah. So, and we work closely with our issuers to design the marketing strategy. Okay. So Bill, to answer your question in terms of Bill's question is typical products or services that attract higher investments in Malaysia. No, at the moment I would say, I mean, you can't really, it really again depends on the appetite of the business. However, I can say this in terms of the statistic, it shows that 75% of the companies that has fundraised via ECF tend to be tech-related type of companies. When I say tech-related, it means that it can be a traditional company, but they are leveraging on tech to scale their business. Yeah. So when you talk about non-tech businesses, can be companies like, for example, agriculture, can be a company like pure F&B. Yeah. Okay. So those who are just joined in, welcome to Ask Atta. So this is the first session that we are, of its kind. So we are actually testing it to see whether people like or not, for us to do this on a regular basis. And if we were to do this on a regular basis, Would you like us to do this on a weekly basis or monthly basis? Do let us know. Yeah, we've got 10 minutes to go. Give us an example how much a company need to invest in terms of fees. Okay, so specific to us, right? At the moment, processing fee is not more than 5,000 ringgit. Okay, and that's our processing fee. And in terms of success fee, so and we only get our fees, upon successful fundraise. And at the moment, Ataplus, for our fees, it is 7.5%, right? Whereby 0.5% goes to our trustees. Now in Malaysia, all equity crowdfunding campaigns or platforms need to have a trustee, whereby funds that during the fundraising campaign, the funds is actually deposited into a trustee account. Our trustee in Malaysian Trustees Berhad is a shareholder, is a subsidiary, of RHB Investment Bank. Okay, and RHB Bank, not RHB Investment, and that's 0.5% goes to the trustee. Out of 7%, 1.5% actually goes for marketing, and these marketing expenses is already incurred by Ataplus, upfront. Yeah, so that's our investment in each campaign. So net, we take 5%, right, of our success fee. Okay. Bill has a question. Does a company need to have a tech component? No, Bill, it does not need to have a tech component. So it can be any business. Hi, Azham. How long would the fundraising from initiation to end? Okay, so let's look at a situation whereby a company first come in and apply through the platform, and everything is online, yeah, guys. So you apply online, and we do not accept physical documents. It's all soft copy documentation through our platform. That's number one. Number two, upon submission of full documentation and payment of our processing fee, we take 5 working days to process. Okay, now it used to be 15 working days because of COVID-19, and we understand the urgency and eagerness of people wanting to fundraise. We've relooked at our process, and it's now shortened to 5 working days. But again, I would like to emphasize, subject to full submission of documentation, because many times the documentation is not completed. Yeah. So once after 5 working days, everything is in order, we take another 2 to 4 weeks to work together with the issuer, with the companies, on the content. So what entails content is your pitch deck, your deal pitch content, which is essentially your info memo, and your term sheet, yeah, as well as the video. Okay, you need to do a pitch video. All right, how you design your term sheet is also important. Yeah, and why 2 to 4 weeks? It really depends on the company. Yeah, so upon completion of that, then we look at launching strategy, and you launch your campaign, and the campaign typically on average 3 months. But within that 3 months, if the company fully meets the target, you can actually close the campaign earlier, right? So the moment campaign closes, we take another 14 working days to look at registering the new investors onto SSM and disbursing the monies into the issuer's account. Okay. Selamat Hari Raya, Zuri. Selamat Hari Raya, Syafiqah. Only companies, businesses that are registered in Malaysia? Yes, the companies, businesses must be registered in Malaysia. I think I answered this earlier. It must be registered in Malaysia. However, businesses can be from anywhere. So meaning that if there's an Indonesian company or Thai company or say Dutch company or Australian companies, if they want to fundraise through Ataplus, yes, you must register, have a local company registered in Malaysia, and then you can have it linked to that company in overseas. Okay. Hi Gordon, Selamat Hari Raya. We've got 5 more minutes. Is Atta Plus able to raise 100% of a company's fundraising needs? So at the end of the day, right, so far, if you look at 100%, that means that's minimum target. So it's not about us being able to raise. It's all about whether the business is able to raise, you know. Is the fundraising is not our responsibility, although we work directly with the business owners, you know, to strategize in terms of fundraising. Yeah. So yeah, for those companies who have successfully fundraised on Atta Plus, yes, they have 100% met their minimum target. Will you be sharing any of the answers shared here somewhere? Well, hi Eunice. For your information, this session is recorded, so you can refer back to the video, recorded video, yeah, of this session. And the other thing is, I just want to mention, going back to Stanley's question on fundraising, guys, you must understand in Malaysia, the rule is that it's an all or nothing model, meaning that if you don't meet your target investment, yeah, the money is all returned back to the investors. So that's why the fundraising strategy is also important. So that's how we work together with the issuers in terms of your minimum and maximum. Yeah. There's 1 minute to go, but we need to end soon. Any more last questions, burning questions before I sign off? This has been great. Question, guys. Would you like this session, and just type in, to be on a weekly basis, every 2 weeks, every month? Do you like this, or you don't? Or should this be the one and the last session? Can I get feedback? Please just type in the comment box. I'd like to hear that from you. And the other thing is, if you have any other questions for us, you can actually send us, PM us on our Facebook, yeah? Or if you want to email me, you can email me at Elaine, ELAIN, at atta-plus.com or info@atta-plus.com. So I've got every 2 weeks, every month. Okay, cool. Very good. Burning to say thank you. Thank you. Yes, Bill. Jeremy. Okay, a monthly. All right. Aina, every day just to see your face. Ha ha. Funny, funny woman. Okay. Every fortnight. Zof. Okay, got it, Zof. Shahira, every 2 weeks. Hazlinda, okay, every 2 weeks. Got it? Suggest to include an info deck during presentation. Okay, we can consider that, but well, we'll see. Weekly basis. Got it, Jovi. We'll see whether, okay, we'll consider that. So far is 2 weeks seems to be, every fortnightly seems to be very popular. Okay. Any other feedback? More, please, perhaps can review, share your thoughts on other startups' fundraising strategies. Okay, can do. Got it, Zuri. Noted. Yeah. Anyone else? 2 more minutes before I close. I'll just give you guys chance. Okay. Or would you like to see anyone else apart from Elaine Lokman? I can get Aimi here, or Kiri, or any of my team members. Or we can have guests. Do you want to see other guests to join us in this session? Would that be, yeah? Would you like that? Or do you think it's just Atta Plus, or you want to see guests, invited guests? Can I see some response to that? But this has been great. Yeah, and some education info on successful. We can do case studies. Yep, we can do an actual case study. Any requests, success stories? Okay, we can cover success stories. Okay, maybe in the next session we'll do success stories and we can feature some of them. Yeah. Can we do a session of valuation? Yes, we can do a session of valuation. So success stories, valuation strategies. Yeah. Investors, okay. from investor viewpoint of from others. Okay, from others. Yes, Zof. Okay, viewpoint from others. All right. Successful pitching sessions. Successful pitches as guests. All right. You want Norman? Why, Bill? Why do you want Norman to be? You need to let me know why you want Norman to be online. By the way, Norman didn't fundraise on Other Plus, but I could still get him. No issue. Guess, all right. Go by theme. Key success factors. All right. We got it. Got it. And any more? Azam, great session. Okay, Selamat Raya. Okay, you want to hear from angel investors and the new normal strategies. So new normal will be the normal. Why some fail? Yes, we can definitely share that. Okay. Sure thing, Zai. Can do that. Fantastic. Fantastic. All right. Any more? Why some fail? Okay. Any more? Chicha. Okay. Yes, Bill Chin. Bill is commenting all the way from Perth. What do you mean, Ganesh? What do you mean by formula? Be a bit more precise so we can understand. Yeah. You don't have to mention it here. You can PM us. Okay. Any more last comments? We got 1 more minute left, guys, before I sign off. E equals MC squared. Okay, Adam. All right. Any other last comments? It has been great. How can we connect immediately? Okay, Ganesh, you can PM us. Let us know. Oh, you're in Melbourne, Bill. Sorry. I thought Perth. You want Kiri on the show? Okay. Ganesh, PM us your email address and maybe contact number, and we will connect immediately. We'll organize a meeting. All right. And let us know. Okay. Great session, guys. I have to sign off now. Great having you guys with us. Great first round session. Selamat Hari Raya. Please take good care. Okay, stay safe. And we'll see you maybe next week or 2 weeks time. All right, bye. Mwah. Lots of love. Bye.